الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله كفى والصلاة والسلام على السيد الحبيب المصطفى وعلى آله وأصحابه نجوم الهدى قادة التقى أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم خذ من أموالهم صدقة تطهرهم وتزكيهم بها وصل عليهم إن الصلاة سكن لهم اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا مولانا محمد وبارك وسلم. Respected elders and brothers, mothers and sisters at home and young friends, Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has brought us to within touching distance of Ramadan. That we are very, very close to Ramadan now, and Ramadan is a very special month because Ramadan is a month in which we are given a boost spiritually even if we start the month the same as we start other months. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. If you try to fast in any of these days of Sha'ban, you'll find the fast to be very difficult. Because you are fasting and the people around you aren't fasting. Because you are fasting after having months and months of eating. And having one day of fast, 2-3 days of fast in the month of Sha'ban is very difficult. But come day one of Ramadan and you have to fast. Even if you haven't yet fasted in Sha'ban, day one of Ramadan, it's more difficult than the other days of Ramadan, of course, because it's the first day. But it's nowhere near as difficult as fasting at any other time in the year. You are doing the exact same deed that you have done, that you would have done in another time of the year. But doing it in Ramadan makes it easy. How easy is it in Ramadan for us to come early to the masjid and pray sunnahs before salah? How easy is it for us to stay behind after a salah and open the Quran and pray the Quran? How easy is it for us that if we want to wake up in the night for tahajjud, we can wake up and pray Qiyamul Layl, pray tahajjud. These are the blessings of Ramadan. And this is why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to make a dua in the month of Sha'ban and the month of Rajab. Allahumma ballighna Ramadan. Allah, he used to say, make us reach Ramadan. And then he would say, Allahumma barik lana fi Rajab wa Sha'ban. Allah, give us barakah in Rajab and Sha'ban. Make it blessed for us. Make it a means of preparation for Ramadan. Now, one of the most important acts we do in Ramadan that isn't actually prescribed only in Ramadan. So fasting, farad fasting is only in Ramadan. Taraweeh is only in Ramadan. But another thing we do, mostly in Ramadan, and very few of us tend to do it outside of Ramadan, is paying our zakat. And paying our poor due, what we have to give to people who have less than us. And you know, every single year, for most people, our zakat year is in Ramadan. So when Ramadan comes, we pay zakat. As Ramadan comes and the people come for collections, we give our zakat to them. And we ignore the other 11 months of the year. Now, let me explain something to you. In a hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that in Ramadan, every nafil deed you do, every optional deed you do is rewarded like it's a farad act. So your reward is multiplied. And every farad deed you do, your reward is multiplied 70 times. So what we do is we wait until Ramadan to pay our zakat, because zakat is farad, we must pay our zakat. And we have hope that Allah will reward us 70 times more than He would have in the other times of the year. Now this is a beautiful intention and a fantastic intention. But when the time comes in the other 11 months of the year, like there were the, we had the floods in Mozambique in Africa, then we had the tsunami in Indonesia, and you know, all these natural catastrophes happening, these natural disasters. If we paid outside of Ramadan, but we make intention, Allah, if this would not have happened, I would have paid it in Ramadan, then we can have hope with Allah that He would have rewarded us the same anyway. Because I would have given it in Ramadan, Allah, but these people need it now. They can't wait until Ramadan. They won't survive until Ramadan. So if a need comes for us to pay our zakat early, and the need is desperate, is dire, then we should pay our zakat early. And we shouldn't delay until Ramadan, unless of course there's no need for it, then of course we can delay until Ramadan. Now there are many, many rulings about zakat. So many. I don't want to make this into a seminar where I just mention facts at you. Okay? But there are certain misconceptions that I want to get rid of. The best type of zakat you can pay is to your family members. What does this mean? Paying zakat to family members, what? It's a loophole. No, not father, not mother, not son, not daughter. So nobody directly above you, nobody directly below you. But if you have a poor brother or sister, or a brother or sister who is in debt somewhere, a brother or sister who might be living in another country where they're not so well off, you can pay your zakat to brothers and sisters. So because you can pay it to brothers and sisters, you can pay it to cousins, you can pay it to uncles and aunts. You can pay zakat to these types of people. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told us this is the best type of zakat because you get two rewards for it. The first reward is for paying the zakat, and the second reward is for uniting families. Because what happens is, Ummah Welfare Trust, Al-Imdad, charities will come to the masjid, I will pay my zakat to the charity. Does the person, the child, the family who is receiving this zakat, have they seen my face? Do they know who is paying the zakat? So my zakat is benefiting them, that's one reward. But because they can't make a link and a connection to us directly, we're not uniting ties. But when I give it to somebody I know, what am I doing? I'm giving it to them and I'm uniting our hearts. I'm bringing our hearts together. This is why the best zakat to pay is to family members. Remember, not up or down, but sideways. Brother, sister, cousins, uncles, aunts, you can pay your zakat to. And we have a tendency, right? And I'd say maybe 90% of the masajid in the Western world are guilty of this. And we are too. That people will come in for collections from outside. And we will present them to you without having done a full investigation and research into the workings of the charity, the workings of the masjid or the madrasa which we're doing. And this is why personally, I am I'm just a skeptic anyway, but I'm very skeptical when giving my zakat. I am very, very careful about who I give it to. We run the local zakat fund, right? And the amount of procedures and the method with which we go through, we have a written qasam, an oath. We have a written declaration. We ask for bank balances. We take interviews with them. We ask for the witness of the testimony of two witnesses, and then we make them sign it. And they have to take a verbal oath, a verbal qasam as well. And after everything is happy and I've done mashwara with the people who are part of the team, then we'll give them the zakat. You have to be very, very, very careful about who you give your zakat to. Personally, my zakat goes to my father, and my father gives it up to family members. Because the best zakat you give is to family members. So we need to be very careful who we give zakat to. I know there's charities who come and they have really big names and they do fantastic work and they're climbing Mount Kilimanjaro and they're doing all this amazing work. But you really need to dig deep into this charity. I won't take the name of the charity. Some members of a charity came to meet me last week because I've spoken to them about the issues or the kind of objections I have to their practices. So they came to meet me. And I asked them a simple question. I said, look, if you take money from Lillah for your admin, that's understandable. You need people in the office. People have to work. That's understandable. But can you guarantee me your zakat, 100% of the zakat I pay you is going to poor people? Do you know what the answer he gave me was? I don't know. And this is a very, very big, famous charity. Very famous charity. We need to, I'm telling you, it's not as simple as they've come to the masjid, pay them my zakat. I've seen the website, it looks like they're doing good work. I've seen a, mashallah, beautiful school they've opened in Africa somewhere. That's fantastic. Go on the website and check what their zakat policy is. Ask them, who do you give your zakat to? Did you know we can't pay zakat to institutes and buildings? We have to pay zakat to the poor people themselves. And better than giving it to the poor people themselves is one thing my father started. I think it's a really wonderful initiative, and many charities are doing this now. The bigger charities are doing this. Where rather than giving you money in your pocket, the charities will pay for a rickshaw, for example, in a poorer country like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, parts of Africa. They will pay for a rickshaw, and they will pay for the gas for a year, and they will say, this is our zakat to you, now you become self-sustainable after this. So after today, you don't ask for zakat because we've given you a means of income. There is no better way to give zakat than this. Where zakat isn't just something you give to poor people and every single year they come asking and you give to them. It's you give to them so that we can raise people off the ground. We can pick them up and the following years they become people who give zakat. They become people who aren't asking for zakat anymore. Because if the numbers of people who are asking for zakat remain the same, then our problem will never be fixed. The whole point of zakat is so we can bring communities together and we can lift communities off the ground. So there are many, many questions about zakat. Even, I'll give you an example, right? Some of the common misconceptions we have. If we see somebody is poor from the outside, we'll be very happy to give zakat to them. Even back home, when I say back home, I mean Africa, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, subcontinent, wherever we are from different parts of the world. What happens is, they look poor from the outside, and we'll give them zakat because they look poor. But I've seen myself that a lot of the families who are being given zakat, they don't know the rulings of zakat. And they will have gold stashed at home. And they won't know that the gold at home counts as assets and we can't take zakat because of the gold at home. But because that gold is just tucked away in a drawer somewhere and they've never used the gold, they think I don't need to pay zakat on it, so it's fine. But if somebody has gold, that amount of gold with which zakat becomes farad, or with which you can't take zakat, you need to make these inquiries, because if they have that amount of gold, then you can't give them zakat, just because they can't meet day-to-day bread. These are some complex issues that we need to deal with. For example, some of us think, right, that if we have gold and silver jewelry, but we're not wearing it, we don't need to give zakat on it. That's completely wrong. If we have gold or silver at home, even if we're wearing it or we're not wearing it, that counts as your assets and you must pay zakat on it if it reaches the amount of zakat, if it reaches a nisab amount. Many of us don't know this. And now many of us haven't been given zakat for years and years. One of the most common misconceptions we have is, if I've given somebody money, I have loaned Muhammad by money, right? I've given him £2,000 for example. I think I've given him the money, I don't need to pay zakat on it. No, if I've given somebody money, who does the money belong to? Me. He's just using it. So I have to pay zakat on it. Now you probably think, hey, this isn't fair. I'm giving him money, letting him borrow money, and I have to pay zakat on it. That's just the reality. Because the money belongs to you. And you must pay zakat on it. Now Muhammad Bhai has the £2,000. That's a loan he owes me. It's a debt. So it's a deficit. So when he counts his amount for the year, for example, is 2,500. He needs to remove the 2,000 he took as a debt. So he's only got 500 left. These are rulings we need to know. People are in the business of buying and selling homes. If you buy a house with the intention to sell, you have to pay zakat on that house. If you buy a car, if you're a tradesman and you buy a car with the intention to sell, you need to pay zakat on the car. If I've bought a house and I want to rent it, there's no zakat on it. But if it's to sell and that's the intention with which I bought it, I must pay zakat on it. These are rules we need to know. And if every single Muslim paid their 2.5%, 2.5% is nothing. On £100, you're paying £2.50. On £1,000, you're paying £25. On £10,000, you're paying £250. It's really not that much. But if every Muslim paid their zakat as they were meant to pay it, then we could eradicate poverty. We could get rid of poverty. If we all paid our zakat as we were meant to, we could get rid of it, especially when we paid it in a way where we made the people we pay zakat to sustainable. These are some really important rules of zakat we need to know. I had so many misconceptions and points over the last year that people have been asking. I noted them all down. One of the questions somebody asked was, my zakat date is the 1st of Ramadan. On this day, I only have £500 to my name. No debt, no loan, just £500 in my bank account. I haven't touched it though. It's in my bank account. And I've got maybe £50 in my pocket, so that's £550. I'm not a tradesman, so I've got nothing to sell, so no zakat. I don't own jewelry or gold and silver, so no zakat. Oh, just a pointer. If we have diamond or titanium, there's no zakat on things like that. Zakat is only on gold and silver, not on diamond, platinum or other metals. So my zakat day is on the 1st of Ramadan, 2 weeks away. I have £550 in my pocket at this time. But throughout the year, my amount has gone up to £3,000 and it's plummeted down to 200. Throughout the year, it's gone up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and today it's 550. Today meaning the 1st of Ramadan. Let's imagine it's the 1st of Ramadan. It's £550. Do I pay zakat on the 3,000, the peak of the year? Or because I reach £10 or £200 in the middle of the year, which isn't zakatable, do I not have to pay zakat? No, you have to pay zakat on the amount you have with you today. So if you were to sell everything you had yesterday, okay, and you were to have gained £2,000-3,000 in cash, because you just thought, oh, let me just get rid of the things I have at home, like a car boot sale. Even though you've had that money for one day, the day before Ramadan, today now you have 2,500, you have to pay zakat on 2,500. But the opposite as well. If I had 2,500, but then I gave a gift to my son worth £2,300, so today I've only got £200 left, I wouldn't pay zakat. But if you try to cheat the system, right? And I'll tell you how you can cheat the system, and people do this, and Allah save and protect us, because by cheating zakat, Allah does not make you more wealthy. And by giving zakat, you do not become poorer. And I'll tell you how many of us cheat the system. We might not know we're cheating it, but we're cheating the system. I'll have a daughter, 4 years old, 5 years old, and I've got gold, plenty of gold. If I keep the gold in my name, I have to pay zakat on it, right? So what I do is, I gift my gold to my daughters. They're not baligh yet, they're not mature, so they don't have to pay zakat. So my daughter is sat with £3,000 worth of gold each, £6,000 worth of gold, and I say, I've only got £200 today, so I don't pay zakat. And then once Ramadan finishes, I'll take the gold back. And before next Ramadan, give it back to them. This is cheating the system, it's haram. In a hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa said about not paying zakat, or trying to cheat zakat. So technically on paper, okay, zakat isn't farad on you, but you know in your heart of hearts that you should have paid zakat this year, but you're cheating the system. In a hadith, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, the person who doesn't pay zakat, his zakat will take the form of a serpent, shuja'un aqra', a bold serpent, lahu zabibatan, huge fangs, mouth, and will wrap itself up around the person who didn't give zakat. It will say, ana kanzuk, ana maluk, I am your wealth that you kept close to you, I am your wealth. And I will tie the person up. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَوْمَ يُحْمَى عَلَيْهَا فِي نَارِ جَهَنَّمْ فَتُكْوَى بِهَا جِبَاهُهُمْ وَجُنُوبُهُمْ وَظُهُورُهُمْ هَذَا مَا كَنَزْتُمْ لِأَنفُسِكُمْ فَذُوقُوا مَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْنِزُونَ يَوْمَ يُحْمَى عَلَيْهَا, the day their faces will be melted in the fire of Jahannam. فَتُكْوَى بِهَا جِبَاهُهُمْ, and they will be branded on their chests, on their sides, on their backs, on their foreheads. And Allah will say, you are in Jahannam and you have been branded. هَذَا مَا كَنَزْتُمْ لِأَنفُسِكُمْ. This is because of the money you kept behind. The zakat you didn't give. The sadaqah you didn't give. This is the punishment of it in the hereafter. فَذُوقُوا مَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْنِزُونَ. So taste whatever you have been hoarding and treasuring for yourself. By not giving zakat or sadaqah, we will not become wealthier. And zakat is actually giving in sadaqah, being generous. Universally, in any way, is meant to be a cure and a treatment and a prevention for illnesses like depression. I'm a student of psychology and counseling, and we study things like this, and it says, research papers have shown people who are generous are protected from depression, because you get a feel-good factor. When you do good things for other people, you feel good about yourself. And depression is the opposite, where you feel bad and glum and sad all the time. And sometimes it's not self-inflicted, it's just a natural process. It's a state of life Allah is taking you through. But one of the ways we can protect ourselves is by being good to other people, being generous to other people, which is why zakat is so important, which is why we must and we need to pay our zakat properly. Because what a shame it would be is if I give my zakat every year, but I'm giving it to the wrong places every year. I'm giving it for wells to be built and for masjids to be built. That's for your lillah, your sadaqah, nafila, things like that, fantastic, pay it. But zakat needs to go to poor people. Zakat needs to go to the people who are the most deprived. When Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam sent Sayyidina Mu'adh bin Jabal radiyallahu ta'ala into Yemen, he taught him how to take the zakat and how to distribute it, and he says that it is to be taken from the people of Yemen and to be given to the people of Yemen. And the zakat wasn't allowed to leave Yemen because there were people who were needy inside Yemen. If those people exist today in our localities, it's our responsibility that we look after them first. And trust me, these people exist. These people are there. Ask me, I thought it didn't exist. And when people come flooding in and they come to you and you check their details and everything adds up and it's like, this person is mustahiq of zakat. Where the family are living on £40 a week, for example, and you're thinking, that's incredible, none of us can do that. But it's a reality because of the cuts in credits and the problems with universal credit and all these things. People are having to do it. They're having to wait 2-3 months for their benefits to come in. So they have to make the money that would last them a month is now having to last them 3 or 4 months. And it's a reality. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us a perfect understanding of Islam, grant us an understanding of zakat. If you have any more questions, please do come and see me. Rather than me actually go to the more qualified muftis and they will answer your questions inshallah. If you have something minor, then come and see me inshallah. And we'll try to deal with your queries. If you want to distribute zakat locally, you can speak to me. If you have questions about other charities, I like interrogating charities, okay? And I like investigating them. So if you want any information on certain charities, then do come and see me privately, please. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our good deeds, forgive all our shortcomings. And a reminder that tonight, inshallah, will be the 15th night of Sha'ban. And we have a program after Maghrib Salah in English and at midnight in Bangla. And then tomorrow we have the seminar after Asr, between Asr and Maghrib Salah, tomorrow Saturday. In the masjid, it will be a presentation on, I've forgotten now, on the adab and the fiqh of Ramadan. And this is what we're doing tomorrow. Today, inshallah, after Maghrib there'll be a program and at midnight there'll be a program. The masjid will be open all night for those who want to come to the masjid. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our intentions.